Great. Any of your kids thinking about show business at this point?
Not at this point. Get grown. Because it's a really short list of people that started acting when they were young that you know are still around. If they're around, they're in therapy.
Connect dots that maybe shouldn't be, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point.
I want to let you know that there is a definitive blueprint that you can follow to achieve success, prosperity, longevity, and peace of mind.
In Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms.
It sounds like Eddie Murphy has finally had enough of the unfairness in Hollywood. He's speaking out about how some black artists have compromised their values for money and fame. According to him, in this pursuit, some of his fellow artists have betrayed him and even tried to blacklist him. Eddie Murphy recently opened up about Hollywood's troubling treatment of black actors throughout history. He revealed that the industry deliberately kept black actors apart, focusing on division instead of unity. Murphy highlighted the covert methods used to maintain this separation, alluding to undisclosed actions that have perpetuated this divide. His comments shed light on the unfortunate reality where black actors are often pitted against each other instead of standing together. Murphy suggests that these harmful dynamics have been ingrained in the minds of up-and-coming black actors, contributing to further division within their community.
One's going, I ain't say I mean, I ain't in it. Huh? What sucks? Reaganomics sucks? Or tell us something we don't know.
Imagine Eddie Murphy starring in a Jordan Peele project, or seeing Jamie Foxx and Denzel Washington teaming up to start their own production company. It's intriguing to note that despite their influential positions, Eddie Murphy and Spike Lee have never collaborated throughout their careers. This absence of collaboration reflects a common trend among prominent black creatives in Hollywood today. They often avoid working together out of concern that joint efforts could threaten the individual success they've worked hard to achieve.
To make it, you gotta bust your black ass. You gotta be relentless. You gotta persevere. You gotta be focused.
There are theories suggesting that Eddie Murphy has been involved in over 50 movies in under 5 years, but only a small portion of those were directed by black directors. This observation highlights the industry's dynamics and could explain why there hasn't been a collaboration between Spike Lee and Tyler Perry on a project. Similarly, it might also explain why Will Smith and Denzel Washington haven't teamed up for multiple films, resembling the pattern seen with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
Yeah, it was wise.
Especially that we are meeting kind of for the first time. That's important. So yeah, that does help.
The reason behind Spike Lee and Eddie Murphy's lack of collaboration may have deeper roots. In the present climate, there's a growing global awareness around the vulnerability of black lives due to systemic issues that have led to troubling outcomes. The heightened visibility of movements like Black Lives Matter is prompting more people to acknowledge the urgent need for transformative change, particularly in empowering economic influence within the black community.
The president of the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce says more businesses are seeking her help.
This shift in awareness has prompted a widespread desire to back Black-owned businesses, thereby fostering the circulation of wealth within the Black community. The significance of supporting such enterprises, though newly emphasized, is not an entirely novel concept. In Power Dynamics, a book authored by Dr. Claude Anderson, the value of analyzing spending patterns among Black Americans is discussed. Ultimately, the narrative underscores the critical significance of maintaining Black funds within Black control.
Is that Black folk fail to understand that schools are not change agents. They're only doing what the environment wants it to do. Schools in this country starting in the 1860s were designed.
This leads us to Spike Lee's emergence in the early 1980s, as he embarked on crafting his own identity in the industry. During this time, he openly criticized not only Eddie Murphy, but also other Black individuals within Hollywood for failing to establish pathways for others akin to themselves. In a 1989 interview with Rolling Stone, Murphy offered his response to these allegations. Spike Lee had expressed his belief that Murphy might have overlooked using his clout to advance the presence of Black individuals in influential roles, particularly within Paramount.
Don't you think I realize what's going on here, miss? Who do you think I am, huh? Don't you think I know that if I was some hotshot from out of town that pulled inside here?
He further said, "They were to me on Saturday Night Live a couple of times after I'd left the show. They said some things. I made a stink about it. It became part of the folklore. What really irritated me about it at the time was that it was a career shot. I felt shitty about it for years, but now I don't have none of that. Eddie Murphy and Spike Lee seem to adopt distinct approaches in addressing racism within Hollywood. Interestingly, during the production of Do the Right Thing, there were instances of Murphy visiting Lee on set. However, in a 1989 appearance on the Arsenio Hall show, Murphy playfully extended their friendly rivalry by humorously referring to Lee as a cricket, adding another layer to their dynamic.
I love Spike Lee. I seen Spike come on the show last week, and women said, "Wah!" And Spike looks like a cricket.
A year later, the two men engaged in a direct conversation regarding their respective stances. Their viewpoints seemed to align with the different approaches of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. In a one-on-one interview featured in Spin magazine, Lee and Murphy delved into their ongoing feud. Lee expressed the notion that Eddie Murphy had the potential to exert greater influence toward change.
He's a brilliant filmmaker. His movies are brilliant. He's hysterical. He's wonderful on camera. But Spike is not fine.
During the middle of the interview, Murphy openly shared his candid perspective on why he believed there was a lack of collaboration among black individuals in Hollywood.
Because I think black people aren't the most unified people on the face of the earth. We gotta get everybody's schedule together.
Everybody says it's cool, but that shit doesn't ever come.
In a contemplative manner, Murphy pointed out the existence of various groups within the community. He remarked on the apparent division prevalent among people of the same race, highlighting that historically, this division was imposed rather than inherent. Referencing the era of slavery, he alluded to instances where united groups of slaves were purposely disbanded. Fast forwarding to the present, Murphy noted that when a black individual achieves success, there's often a tendency to isolate oneself and claim ownership of accomplishments. He attributed this hesitancy to unite to an underlying fear of jeopardizing personal equilibrium in the pursuit of collective collaboration.
We got all just hooked up with black people. Chinese people all around because they got little and little.
Moreover, he has also noted that in order to come to the A-listers, many artists have allegedly sold themselves. Ernest Thomas, known for his role as Raj on What's Happening, recently made some surprising comments about Martin Lawrence. In a surprising revelation, Thomas described Lawrence as more than just a comedic talent, suggesting there's another side to him.
The more the success came, you can't get a hold of it.
Thomas recounted a story of extending a warm welcome to Martin Lawrence, despite facing opposition from other cast members. He acknowledged Lawrence's undeniable comedic talent, which played a significant role in Thomas's instinctive decision to support him.
But I was there with him when he was turned down by the Comedy Store 3 times. Yeah, but that was it. He got to start on there.
During that era, Martin Lawrence quickly emerged as a promising star with immense potential. His magnetic charisma and undeniable talent swiftly caught the attention of those around him, including Ernest Lee Thomas. The atmosphere on the set of What's Happening Now was filled with camaraderie, and Lawrence's humor and vibrant energy injected new life into the show. However, as Martin Lawrence's career soared to new heights, noticeable transformations began to unfold. Thomas skillfully depicted how Lawrence's demeanor underwent a shift, a transformation marked by a growing sense of arrogance and a widening disconnect from reality. This evolution became increasingly apparent as Lawrence climbed the ladder of fame and success. With each step up, Lawrence delved deeper into the world of celebrity.
You know, and it wasn't like he was just incredibly funny. You know, now, of course, I love the Martin Show, but it wasn't there.
The pressures of fame, the demanding nature of the industry, and the allure of the spotlight noticeably impacted Martin Lawrence's personality over time. Once a humble and driven young artist, he began to exhibit signs of conceit and self-importance. Ernest shared a compelling anecdote about a missed opportunity to collaborate with Lawrence. He described how Lawrence, much to Thomas's surprise and disappointment, turned down a lucrative offer for a film project.
And not only did he not talk, he could at least call me himself and said, "No, you got the agent calling me."
Ernest went further to explain the incident, saying,
"We made the offer. We had offered him $500,000 for 13 days. Never heard from the agent after that."
This incident served as a glaring example of how success can sometimes sever the connections between celebrities and their roots. The missed opportunity became a poignant reminder of how fame's alluring charm can cloud one's judgment. Lawrence's choice to reject the offer had consequences that extended beyond the immediate project, reflecting a broader transformation in his priorities and a distorted perception of his value in the industry. Fans are convinced that there might be some truth in Ernest's claims of Lawrence being blinded by fame. One of his fans wrote, "Used to always always see Mr. Ernest at the Pasadena CA library all the time. I would speak and he was always kind. Another one added, "It's a fact. Money will change you, and if you didn't know that's because you haven't experienced it. It's true what they say though, no money, no problems." One more person added, "That brother's energy is genuine, and I really appreciate that in itself. People always throw empty words around, and when you call them on it, they can't be found. It's a sad affair, the state of selfishness that exists on all levels of life, no matter what your status is. I've given up on people, and when bad things happen to us, it's judgment, so be it." In the 1990s, Martin Lawrence became a prominent figure in comedy and entertainment. His undeniable talent for humor propelled him to stardom, culminating in his own show, Martin, on Fox. This period was brimming with promise and opportunity for the comedian, poised to ascend to new heights in his career. However, as Lawrence's success soared during this time, his behavior and decisions began raising questions about whether he had become captivated by the dazzling allure of fame.
Then he started having that little funky attitude, and you know, and I look at him, I said, sometimes I look at these brothers and say, boy.
A pivotal moment in Martin Lawrence's career occurred on February 19, 1994, when he was invited to host Saturday Night Live. Hosting SNL is a prestigious opportunity for any comedian, offering a prominent stage to showcase their talent. However, Lawrence's opening monologue during the show left many viewers feeling bewildered and uneasy.
The ladies in the 90s have license to cut off the Yep. They got license to cut your thing off, man.
The opening monologue on SNL can make or break a show. When it's done right, it's pure genius. But if you get someone like Elon Musk delivering it in his monotone style, it can drag on forever. Unfortunately, Martin Lawrence's intro totally went off the rails, and it pretty much any chance of him coming back to Studio 8H. According to a report from Far Out magazine via Cheat Sheet, during his appearance, the Bad Boys star went off script and started ranting about women's intimate hygiene. He was talking about looking for a life partner, and then started criticizing women who, in his opinion, didn't keep things clean down there. He even threw shade at commercials for certain female products, saying they were either lying or women were just clueless about how to use them.
But I mean, I feel for that man though, man. I feel for him. Cause you took his thing, man. You know what I'm saying? He can't do this. He ain't ever gonna really be able to do this.
So, when he came to host SNL, the comedian was feeling pretty good about himself. The man swaggers his way through that opening speech before wrapping up with a, "We got a great show for you tonight because I'm here." Regrettably, Lawrence seized the opportunity to embark on an evidently unpolished bit, criticizing the state of female personal hygiene. At one point, he even suggested an unorthodox use of a Tic Tac to address the issue. Reportedly, none of this was planned, a direct violation of Lorne Michaels' strict no improv rule. Moreover, the crass nature of Lawrence's commentary, even by 90s standards, resulted in his banishment not only from SNL but from NBC as a whole. Awkward SNL monologues continue to be a pertinent topic today, but Martin Lawrence's seems to have particularly resonated. According to the LA Times, in the aftermath of Lawrence's inappropriate comments, NBC received 200 complaints, adding to the mounting pressure on the comedian. Concurrently, his first concert film, You So Crazy, garnered an NC-17 rating from the Motion Picture Association of America, and his album, Talkin' S, bore the notorious symbol of 90s parental caution, the parental advisory sticker. Speaking on the SNL debacle, Lawrence told The Times that he performed the same bit during a run-through and heard nothing from Lorne Michaels or anyone else about it being unsuitable. Meanwhile, NBC claimed he did, in fact, go off-script during the infamous female hygiene section of his monologue. That tracks with the fact that syndicated episodes of the episode were broadcast with a series of title cards explaining that the network was refusing to air that particular part. And those cards are arguably funnier than the bit itself, reading, "At this point in his monologue, Martin begins a commentary on what he considers the decline in standards of feminine hygiene in this country. Although we at Saturday Night Live take no stand on this issue one way or the other, network policy prevents us from rebroadcasting this portion of his remarks." In summary, Martin feels, or felt at the time, that the failure of many young women to bathe thoroughly is a serious problem that demands our attention. He explores this problem problem, citing numerous examples from his personal experience, and ends by proposing several imaginative solutions. It was a frank and lively presentation, and nearly cost us all our jobs. We now return to the conclusion of Martin's monologue, but people still believe that he may have selected such monologues because he apparently sold himself. Moreover, Kevin Hart also has not a very good reputation about him, as his behavior and actions has always been in question. Kevin Hart was caught in a pretty awkward situation with some people he was hanging out with. It turns out that one of the guys he was kind of humiliating is actually his friend from the industry. And now there are these allegations floating around that Kevin Hart hasn't been treating fellow black artists fairly. When you see the footage of this interaction, it does make you wonder if those allegations could be true, right? The video that's going around has definitely sparked some serious questions about Hart's behavior within the community. Just from that clip, you can see Hart saying some pretty questionable stuff to someone who's supposed to be close to him.
Everything else. I've had money before you and gonna after you. Everything. If everything stops there, can you survive? Yes. You're a boss, nigga. Do you have a home?
So after this video went viral, many people have come to believe that Kevin Hart just loves to impose his powers on other black artists.
And I can't survive. Ronald, boss, Everline. Ronald, do you have a home? That's dumb as. Do you have a home? I've been making money way before this. Why aren't you answering the question? You sound. Ronald. No, I'm serious.
The video was enough to raise speculations about Kevin's past alleged incidents where he was not seen to be a good man. According to some sources, many celebrities have talked about him and how he is not apparently good for young black artists. Let's start with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle reportedly shed some light on Kevin Hart's alleged dark legacy and how Kevin can do some inappropriate activities for Hollywood only for the sake of money and fame.
They put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career. I'll be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress.
Over the span of several years, Hollywood has faced widespread criticism for its contribution to perpetuating various stereotypes, particularly those that significantly influence the public's perception of black individuals among a substantial audience. This period has sparked a debate highlighting the contention that the limited opportunities available within the entertainment industry have compelled black artists to accept stereotypical roles as a necessary means of sustaining their careers and livelihoods.
A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you.
Although the entertainment industry hasn't fully attained racial equality, contemporary performers do possess a degree of agency over their choices. What proves intriguing in the realm of these modern figures is their apparent openness to undertake cross-dressing roles, with Kevin Hart's name standing out notably in this context. You can remember when Kevin Hart appeared on SNL dressed as a small girl.
Hope Conventionate is lifting her arms into her signature muscle man pose.
Everybody started criticizing Kevin for being someone whose actions didn't support his words. Before the show, Kevin showed up in an interview and clearly said that he would never do unprofessional activities for Hollywood as other people did in the past.
I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. At the end of the day, you gotta know that you're a brand.
But right after this, Kevin appeared on a TV show irrespective of protecting his brand and dignity. Why this thing bothered Dave Chappelle is because he is a man of dignity and has always spoken for black people in the industry about how they are treated like garbage by Hollywood elites. Kevin doing all these absurd alleged things bothered Chappelle, and he reportedly spilled tea on every single detail of who tricked Kevin to appear like this on the TV screens. Dave claimed that Kevin Hart is being trapped and manipulated by Illuminati and also through Jay-Z. Kevin's actions on that show made people speculate that Kevin and Jay-Z are both part of the Illuminati. With how close those two appear to be, I can't really say I blame them.
It made a shift from money, I'm getting it, what you're not getting, the life that I'm living, to what we as people need to open our eyes to, what we need to understand.
However, Jay-Z and Kevin are not the only celebrities that came to the eyes of the Illuminati. If you all remember, Dave Chappelle also once turned down a role of a whopping $50 million and flew to South Africa. According to Chappelle, the demand from Hollywood elites to do comedy that he didn't want to do became too much for him, and he flew away. When he went on to the next plateau in his career, a dispute started going on over the source of the outside pressure that was forcing him to do things that he didn't want to do, and some people have theorized that it was the Illuminati like they did with Kevin. However, Chappelle vanished, leading everyone to speculate that he had gone insane. However, it turned out that he just wanted some time to rediscover who he was and possibly rectify everything he had previously done. Dave reportedly revealed that he had been deliberately put through stress. But Dave has also shown the nerves of man, and he never let himself sell to some elites. And Dave always denied everything to do that went against his dignity, be it even a $50 million comedy show. Dave said, "I don't want the money, I don't want the drama, I just want to do my show again." Chappelle explained to Oprah Winfrey that the primary reason he decided to leave the program was because he feared he would no longer have creative control over his own talent. "I was doing sketches that were funny, but socially irresponsible," he said. It was encouraged. This is one of Chappelle's most excruciatingly honest statements, not only about himself, but also about the entertainment business as a whole. And admit it or not, Dave is literally the public's favorite, and his supporters never waver their support. One fan expressed himself in these words, "I love Dave Chappelle and his determination to not allowing the demonic industry Hollyweird and music. Dear Lord, please protect him." Another fan came up with these words, "We have to surround and support people like Kanye and others who are woke and refuse to be enslaved. God says, 'Do not disturb by anointed. May no weapon formed against any of us shall prosper. No voodoo, witchcraft, black magic, or any other evil spirit shall be sent back to sender. Judgment shall be condemned, and all evil sayings will be judged by God." But that's not the only time Hart's name has surfaced in connection with the mysterious group. The comedian's participation in the Illuminati was the subject of much controversy. But the first is someone who has been suspected of being an Illuminati member for a long time, Jay-Z. Some keen observers claim that the two celebrities recently discussed the shadowy group on the comedian's television show Heart to Heart. As they talked about how to give youth more agency, Jay's expression said it all. Jay-Z described how he is broadcasting his experience via Rock Nation, but some viewers think Kevin accidentally revealed his claimed affiliation with the Illuminati when he commented on the room with the door behind it.
So we never had access to that sort of information.
I call it the room, the door with the door behind it. You never get to that door.
As soon as Kevin had finished his comment, spectators stated that Jay-Z's menacing glare was sufficient to cause him to stop speaking. If you take into consideration what Dave Chappelle stated about him and what he says about the world in general, you'll realize that Kevin's actions caused a lot of people to worry about the reality of his involvement with the Illuminati and whether or not it was actually true. It is becoming more and more obvious that there is a great deal more going on behind the scenes than these people are able to convey. Furthermore, the legendary D.L. Hewley is also not in the good books of some people. Monique has fired back at D.L. Hewley once again, defending herself in an Instagram live session with her husband, Sidney Hicks. They claimed the interview was scrapped after involving their attorney, though they clarified that they didn't send Hewley a cease and desist. Monique insisted that her remarks were aimed solely at Hewley and not his wife or daughter.
And I said, DL, then we're gonna have to get our attorney involved. That's the last thing me and D.L. Hewley said on that conversation.
And after having that conversation with Monique, we went and got our attorney.
During the live session, Monique also addressed the Breakfast Club hosts for their recent apologies, appreciating them for owning up to their mistakes. Right is right and wrong is wrong, and because you babies owned it, you apologized, she said, blowing them a kiss. Basically, in the aftermath of Columbus Short's dismissal from ABC's popular series Scandal, D.L. Hewley found himself in hot water for comments regarding Short's ongoing marital issues with his estranged wife, Tanny McCall Short. During a recent segment of his Radio 1 show, The D.L. Hewley Show, the entertainer cast doubt on the legitimacy of Short's misdemeanor spousal battery charge. This charge alleged that the actor had reportedly choked his wife while she was sleeping. The star of one of the hottest dramas in the country chokes the F out of his wife? That doesn't ever happen. I don't think it happened first off. Like the time Warren Sapp was getting ready to do the Super Bowl and some broad said that he her. There are just as many examples of women lying on men in the middle of divorce proceedings to get what they want as there are men who actually do anything. My point is, if he did what she's alleging he did, she could still get all that she's going to have and not bring it up now when it damages his market value that she's going to be impacted by. If he loses that job, nobody's living in Calabasas anymore. I guarantee you, 3 years from now, she's going to be thinking, damn, I should have shut the F up. Women always running out the mouth when they shouldn't. This bee was thirsty. The bee was thirsty. What, she gon' go back to dancing? She gon' F her money up? The contentious audio clip, which has since been taken down from the show's hosting site, has sparked a significant backlash. This has resulted in a Change.org petition calling for DL Hughley to issue a public apology. The petition alleges that Hughley's comments may have endangered the lives of Black women who could be victims of domestic violence by encouraging them to remain silent.
This is what DL Hughley posted over on his Instagram account. I don't care if your man is selling hot dogs. You're supposed to be right beside him asking, do they want ketchup?
Not only him, Steve Harvey's truth was also revealed when Cat Williams talked about him in the Club Shay Shay's podcast. Cat's disclosure about his former idol might be surprising to some, but the subsequent revelation is even more shocking. He asserted that Steve Harvey, a favorite among many, has purportedly made a deal involving his soul with Hollywood.
I think Steve Harvey's some stand-up ass motherfucking man. I'm a kiss old girl who owned TV One. He used to kiss her ass. That's how he had the rating.
Undoubtedly, Cat Williams is widely recognized as one of the funniest comics of his generation, celebrated for his unfiltered humor and dynamic performances in hit stand-up specials. Despite his talent and status among Hollywood's comedy elites, Williams hasn't attained the same level of mainstream exposure as some of his peers. A supporter noted, unlike Kevin Hart, he hasn't embraced leading roles in blockbuster movies, and he doesn't host a show like Steve Harvey. Being hopeless, he once even said, "I'm just going to go ahead and announce my retirement from stand-up. I'm kinda done. I've already discussed it with my kids. I wasn't really going to do it on a Seattle street. I was going to Los Angeles and do it in the offices of ICM or Live Nation." For a while, there were rumors suggesting that Williams had been blacklisted from the industry, prompting inquiries into why he hadn't reached the same level of success as figures such as Steve Harvey. It's noteworthy that Williams and Harvey have had a strained relationship for over a decade, and there appears to be a substantial reason behind their ongoing discord.
When the promoter told me about it in October, I shot it down, because that ain't how I've ever promoted a show.
So it seems like Eddie's stance on working of Black artists is somehow true. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.